Hi, I'm Amanda and welcome to the Hot Plate. Today we're getting steamy in the kitchen making seared steaks with a mushroom pan sauce. Searing steaks on the stovetop is a great alternative to a barbecue. I know that I love to use the technique when it's too cold to go outside in the winter. Now the real kicker to this recipe is our mushroom pan sauce. The reason I love it is that we use all of those extra juices left over from our steak to make a rich gravy, which is great if you're cooking for one or for a group. We've got 2 top sirloin steaks, 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, some unsalted butter, some kosher salt, a good handful of portobello mushrooms, 1 cup of chicken stock, 1 tablespoon of balsamic vinegar, a garlic clove, some Worcestershire sauce, and our freshly ground pepper. We're going to start by prepping all of our ingredients. So we want to make sure that our steaks have been at room temperature for about 15 minutes at this point. So we're going to season them up with some salt and some pepper on both sides and then let them rest for another 10 minutes. While the steaks rest, we're going to get our garlic and our mushrooms ready. We're going to smash and then finely chop up our garlic and set it aside. For the mushrooms, we're only going to be using 3 because we want to make sure that we're not overcrowding the pan, but you could add 1 or 2 more depending on how many dinner guests you have. We'll start by popping off the stem and discarding them, and then with each of the caps, we're just going to run our knife through it until they're thinly sliced. We're ready to start cooking our steaks. So we have a large non-stick skillet, and we're going to be adding about 2 tablespoons of butter over medium-high heat. We want to be generous with the butter because that's what's going to help these steaks caramelize. Once the butter's melted and frothy, we'll be adding our steaks into the skillet. Sear on one side for about 3 minutes until it starts to get golden and a deep brown color. Partway through the cooking, start spooning little teaspoonfuls of butter on top of the uncooked side of the steak. After 3 minutes, we'll flip both of our steaks and continue to cook. Again, every so often start spooning butter over top. While we've been cooking our steaks, we've also been preheating our oven to 350 degrees. Once our steaks have seared on both sides, we'll be transferring them into an oven-safe dish and then putting them in the oven for 10 to 15 minutes. 10 minutes for a more rare steak and 15 minutes for a more medium well-done steak. While the steaks are in the oven, we're going to be making our pan sauce. And so we're going to add 2 tablespoons of our unsalted butter to our skillet, and we're going to heat that over medium heat. Add the garlic and stir for 1 minute. Add the mushrooms and stir for 3 to 4 minutes until they start to brown. Make sure to try and have them in a single layer so that they brown properly. Sprinkle the flour over top of the garlic and the mushrooms. Then start stirring. We want the flour to brown to cook out any of the raw flavor. Then pour in the chicken stock. Add just a little bit at first. You'll see it starts to bubble. This is called deglazing, and it's going to release all the brown bits from the bottom of the pan. Then incorporate the rest of the stock, continuing to stir. Pour in the balsamic vinegar and a couple drops of the Worcestershire sauce. Season it up with a little bit of salt and pepper and bring the entire mixture to a boil. Continue to boil it over medium-high heat until it's reduced by half and it's thick enough to coat the back of a spoon. Our steaks are ready, so we're going to put them onto a plate to let them rest for a few minutes, and while our sauce continues to simmer, we're going to pour in any of those extra cooking juices from the baking dish into the sauce. We'll then give the sauce a final stir, and we're ready to serve up our steak with this delicious pan sauce. Our steak is all done, and I cannot wait to try this. Oh yeah. Good hit of pepper on there. It's got that lovely rich savoriness that's kind of just covering the steak and making it ultra creamy. This is so delicious, a great main course. Thanks so much for checking out The Hot Plate. Make sure to check out this and all of our other episodes and recipes on thehotplate.com and updates on our Facebook page, facebook.com/thehotplate.